Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin.
I'm Penelope.
I'm Justin.
And we're here to talk about toys. Welcome back, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
We've got Farpoint Toys back in the house.
It's been a while.
Kev, thanks again for having us on.
Yes, it's always great. And this time we've got a Penelope-centric episode.
I feel like I'm on the spot. Like, I hope I do okay.
Come on, man. I think they're all Penelope-centric episodes.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Please.
You collect so many things.
I do. Like, a lot of the crap is mine, but I feel like I don't know.
Well,
I'm excited to have a thing. But I feel like I'm on the spot. Like, I have my list to make sure like I say all the right words.
You collect collections, we like to say.
Listen, I have a few main things like that I really focus on. Dungeons and Dragons, which we've talked about.
Right.
I have a pretty extensive Dune collection of weirdness, which we've talked about on the show. And My Little Pony is really...
So those are your
lunch
top three?
boxes?
Lunchbox. Well, I think lunchboxes would probably be number one. There's so many.
Wow.
Like,
All right.
See?
Kevin, I have like 400 lunchboxes.
Wow.
It's serious. But they're bigger. Like, I have more ponies, but they're little. They're little ponies.
She
My Little
collects
Ponies.
collections.
That's not true. That's a
Would you say
generalization.
this is not your number one then?
I think D&D, lunchboxes, and My Little Pony in that order is
number
probably, like, if I had to rank them, and we've talked about, lunchboxes, like, next time we come, I want to talk about lunchboxes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to rank them in order of importance, D&D is number one. Lunchboxes is probably number two. And
Man, Pony has fallen.
it's fallen, but not from a nostalgic standpoint. It's still like one of my most favorite. It's definitely the toy I played with the most as a kid.
Okay.
My ponies were the most played with thing that I owned.
All right.
And I'm lucky that I
So
still have.
it's maybe your favorite toy line because lunchboxes
Yes.
are collectible. You could put those in other areas.
Yep.
D&D is like gaming material
yes,
or whatever.
perfect.
Like
Kevin, you hit the nail on the head. Ponies are definitely my favorite toy.
Okay.
By far.
Fair enough.
But from a nostalgic standpoint, ponies were it. Like, I had Barbies, I had other toys, but my ponies were the thing. And I'm lucky enough that I still have my entire original collection from when I was a kid.
That's really cool because it's rare for people to have their childhood stuff.
I don't know if it's luck or not, but they went into storage when I was very young, and they didn't come out again until I was old enough to appreciate and display them. If I had had them as a kid, they probably just would have been destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's actually better that they went into storage.
I don't assume you weren't very destructive with your toys.
No, but I loved them so much. They went in the bathtub. They went outside in the dirt.
Yeah.
They went everywhere I went, they went. So I think over time, the hair would have just fallen out.
Okay.
I was not like a hair cutter. They did
Okay.
not get makeovers or anything like that. I was very careful with my toys.
Boy, we've bought some collections that have had haircuts and that mutilated.
Anytime there's hair play involved,
Yeah.
you're
It's
asking for
always-
haircuts.
Yeah.
Always. But I was never like that with my toys as a kid.
So our first segment, we're going to do news. And recently, Toy Fair isn't happening, so there's been a lot
Again.
of really, information coming out. Everyone's figuring out how to tease their own stuff. And one of the things that caught my eye recently is Super 7 is showing off some more of their reaction stuff. They're doing Roger Rabbit,
That's
and
cool.
they're doing
Oh.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
How much
Oh, wow.
toy
What
stuff has
scale?
been out
What
for
scale
Roger
is the
Rabbit?
Godzilla?
I can't think of anything for Roger Rabbit
So-
since...
Probably some PVCs.
There
Maybe.
was a they did weird hand puppets. They were like soft rubber hand puppets,
Please.
kind of like a boglin, but just the front. So like you put your fingers in like this, and there's like an
There
open
were
back.
bendy toys back in the day.
Bendy
Yep.
toys. There was a dip playset.
Okay.
I
Really?
think we had it once.
I didn't know that. I've said it before. Super 7 has their finger on the pulse of nostalgia. They know what they're doing with the different, especially since they got the licenses to do like the reaction figures back from Funko.
Right.
And use actual glue on the bubbles. They know what franchises to go after. Like, I don't think that they just get stuck with anything. And they actually invent their own stuff too.
Yeah.
Which is
the
awesome.
Worst and things like that.
Yeah, yep.
But so they've got Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit, Judge Doom, Smarty.
Are these
and
all going to be
Stupid.
reaction figures?
Reaction.
Okay.
All right.
So that's the first wave, and obviously that leaves them like Eddie and the baby and a handful of other characters to do there before you kind of max out that line without needing other licenses.
Yeah.
Because Roger Rabbit's world is
All the licenses.
everybody else's
Everything.
license.
Yes. Yeah, so they might not even go down that rabbit hole.
So they might hit.
Ha ha ha! Bump.
I think they'll probably hit that second wave and be done. You know what I mean? And then they're doing Godzilla, which could be a huge
Are they
line.
3 3/4?
Gigantic.
Yeah, they're doing 3 3/4.
Gigantic.
Yeah,
Because Godzilla collectors collect everything.
right.
And there's so many versions and so many monsters.
Yep.
especially, and if they nail the card art, that's going to be a very popular sought after line, right?
So the first wave is going to be Godzilla 54,
perfect.
Godzilla 57,
Wow.
Mechagodzilla,
Yes.
Jet Jaguar,
Yeah. Jet Jaguar! Jet Jaguar!
Mothra, and Rodan.
I wonder how you get Mothra in a bubble.
You make the bubble
The
flat.
bubble's going to be,
big.
going to have to be butterfly shaped, I guess.
Dude, that's awesome.
But, I mean, there's so many, like, good characters plus redos of Godzilla.
I'm trying to figure out
for
how
that.
they're
And
going
they
to
can
articulate
use
Mothra.
The molds over and over again with like the nuclear version or the
Yep.
glowing
Different
red
colors.
versions.
Yeah, they'll
and
do a lot
colors.
of repaint type
glow in the
things.
dark variants. I'm
Oh,
sure.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool.
That's that.
I can see that.
That was like that's a duh moment
Mm-hmm.
because of the collectability of Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to
Cool.
see how they look because some of the like larger reaction figures like Bebop and Rocksteady from the Ninja Turtles are just really fun looking toys. They did the Shogun Warrior Godzilla
And it was awesome.
and it was great. Yeah.
Dude, it's just a shrunk down Shogun
is.
version.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how those turn out. I'm very
Yeah.
excited
Even
about
the
that.
box was the same as
Really
the
cool.
large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the little mini.
That was
guy.
great
So cute.
presentation on that.
Yes.
Oh, he was about 3 3/4, wasn't
Yep.
he? All
Yep.
right, yeah. So that it'll look great in that scale.
Man, I wish they would do. I think they did other Shoguns. Like a Rodan would have been cool.
Ooh.
Well, I'm wondering if this reaction Rodan will work if it's close enough in design.
Wow.
If they can get around the Shogun Warrior.
Yeah.
Well, they had Shogun Warrior. So maybe they could eventually do
Rodan.
Godzilla,
Yeah.
Rodan, and Shogun Warrior.
Oh, my
like,
God.
Who knows?
Rodan himself is a toy grail.
Yeah.
Like that's an insane figure. Even loose with loose wings. That's probably the most sought after of the Shogun
Right.
versions.
It's just so impressive. I mean, all the Shoguns look great, but
Again.
he's just on top of the world.
And it checks all kinds of boxes. You don't have to be
Yeah.
into Shogun. You don't have to be specifically into Godzilla. It's a monster. It's all kinds
It's
of stuff.
dinosaur.
Right.
It's cross genre.
Jaguar.
Stop.
I'm going to pull that out later on.
All right. And then our peg warmer for the episode.
Oh,
I brought
boy.
in something I just saw hit clearance at Walmart. These are Bend and Flex Marvel Heroes.
All right.
I saw them at Toy Fair whenever the last Toy Fair was. That's almost 3 years ago now at this point.
Oh God, it was. It was 2020, I think.
And it's a neat concept. I like that they are, you can really put them in all kinds of poses. They have big chunky feet so they can stand on one foot. The back of the package really shows it off. But I don't know whether these gimmicky kind of toys are really what kids are always looking for. You want it to look like the hero from the media a lot.
What's the age group? Like what, 4+? Is that what that says on the front?
Oh, it's got the no sad onion 0 to 3 on the back, so 4 and up, yeah.
All right.
Listen.
So a 4-year-old would play with that and
Bendy's
slam
just-
it around.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Bendies just don't work.
They don't really
Nobody
catch on.
wants bendies.
Yeah.
They didn't work in 95 when Star Wars came out. I mean, that was
Right.
the first Star Wars product since 85.
Yeah.
Right? They ended with Power of the Force and Droids and Ewoks, and then the next thing that came out were bendy figures. And people were like, oh my God, Star Wars bendies. And you find them all on the card now. Nobody
Yep.
played with the freaking things.
Yeah.
So to aim these at kids don't want to play with that stuff.
I did like their attempt to market these with stop motion animated commercials, which I thought was really cool.
It's like
Because it
Gumby.
lends
It lends
itself
itself
to
to
it.
it.
yeah, it totally lends itself to that. But I just feel like these are on the shelf at the same time as like a Marvel Legends version.
yeah.
This guy, you can get him in Marvel Legends, and so show it to a kid. Which one do you want? The kid's gonna go for that realistic looking one. I
The-
Yeah,
You know
but
what
at
these
the right
are?
age, a 4-year-old.
When you
I don't
want to
know.
spend $5 on your son's classmate's
yeah.
birthday and you don't want to spend $20 on a legend or 25 now,
Yeah.
this is
This
the
is what you're
cheap
going
thing
with.
you buy
Yeah.
for the kid's birthday, and the kid's like, oh, thanks, Billy.
I mean,
Nobody's excited
can
by
a
that.
4-year-old play with a legend?
Sure.
They're not going to choke on the little
You
pieces.
just take the hands and figures away. I would have played with that at 4 years old.
Well, that was, no offense, it was a long time ago before like we had more like protections in place so that children didn't choke on things.
Like Star Wars figures were 3 3/4,
Tiny.
and
Their
their
guns are
guns
super
are
tiny.
tiny.
What
Yeah.
was the age range for them originally? Like when they came out? Like what was the stated?
Probably 3 and up.
You think?
Did they even
They
rate
didn't even
toys
care.
yet?
Yeah,
they handed-
exactly. That's
I think
exactly
you got
my
a pack of
point.
cigarettes with
Yeah.
every Obi-Wan.
Yes.
It wasn't until the kid choked on the spring-loaded missile that anybody cared about
Yeah.
choking hazards.
Yeah.
That was
That's true.
For the
Battlestar
Battlestar.
Galactica.
Yeah.
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 I skipped around our usual order because After News is usually new to the collection.
Yes.
But because new to the collection tied right into the main theme. We're going to new to the
That's
collection.
why you're the host.
Yes, keeping us on track, Kevin. I appreciate that. So new to my collection on theme, you can see behind me right there, I have a pink My Pretty Pony. The one next to it is actually the brown one in the box. The pink one does not have its box, but it's pretty rare, so I didn't mind that it didn't have a box. For those of you that don't know, My Pretty Pony was the precursor to My Little Pony. It's much larger. It's not little, obviously, which is the big size there. It was originally that size, and then they shrunk it down to be the smaller size. They found that smaller was better because it's cuter. So the large size, it's cool. It has like a little trigger, so its ear moves and it blinks and winks. You can brush its hair, obviously, because hair plays a big deal. I don't know where I ever got the idea to have all this long hair. I'm sure it's from something like that. But it came with a brush, it came with ribbons, it came with a little hat and like a little saddle back there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So did both of those come out the same year?
Yeah.
And obviously the white one with the pink hair.
Yeah, it's pink. It's actually pink and pink.
Oh, so the pink one, the fantastically colored one with the butt marks.
Yeah.
Was probably the one, is obviously the one they based these on.
Yeah, so originally, when they were first designing My Little Pony, they weren't sure if they wanted to go with traditional colors, like, you know, your browns, your tawny,
Like Breyer
gray.
toys.
Yeah, or if they wanted to go with the more brightly colored ones. The original designer preferred the traditional coloring, whereas obviously little girls like the pink one with the hearts on it better than the brown one with the brown hair.
I mean, if you didn't go this route, how many
This line
options
wouldn't have
are
been this
there?
big.
Exactly, the line. I mean, how unicorns, brown unicorns, I mean, that seems...
Or, I mean, even without the brown one doesn't have the cutie marks.
No, and they weren't called cutie marks at the time. They called them that now. They weren't called them that.
They didn't have an official name.
No, they were just, I just called them butt symbols as a
Yeah,
kid.
butt marks, butt symbols, right? I mean, what's on her butt? That's what we always
Yeah,
say.
exactly. But I do have both versions, but I think the pink one, it's actually an upscaled version of the pony Peachy that came out in year two. Year one? Year two?
Oh, why? The same butt mark, you mean?
Yeah, it had hearts.
Okay.
She was a little more peach colored, but the same idea, pink on pink. With
Oh, that's cool. So
yeah.
there's a large and a
scales,
small
yeah.
version
Yes,
of her.
a large
Oh,
and a
that's
small.
awesome.
Yeah, but I was happy to add her to my collection. I have never had the pink My Pretty Pony before, so now I have a set of two. They only made the two, the brown and the pink. So I've got them both now, so I'm stoked.
And they didn't do very well.
I mean,
then
they
they came back
They
out with
did
these.
okay, but they did well enough to realize, hey, we have something here, but it needs to be changed a little
I
bit.
wonder who said, let's just scale them down. Everything was getting scaled down.
What year did those come out? Do you know?
80, 81?
Oh, okay. So they're very close in era. So,
Yeah.
But because I was going to say, was it just like, hey, G.I. Joe's working in the smaller size, just shrink it.
It's Hasbro.
Shrink
It
it. Right.
is
So-
Hasbro. That was marketed as more of a specifically the Hasbro preschool line.
Yeah.
Whereas these were just part of a generic Hasbro line.
Was there, before this, I hate to put you on the spot.
Hopefully I know the answer.
And I guess we're just jumping right into My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Before this, besides Barbie, was there a giant specifically aimed at young girl toy line? I guess there were some, like little Kittles and
I mean, I
oddball
gotta
stuff.
tell you, it was always dolls because apparently girls only want to have babies, do hair, and clean things.
So is this like the first like kind of fantasy?
I think like specifically geared toward little girls. Maybe. I mean, I don't want to say definitely.
Man, Hasbro with the 1-2 punch of G.I. Joe and My Little Pony in just about the same year.
I mean, nothing.
What year was G1?
81, 82, right around there.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe was supposed to be 81. They held it because of Empire Strikes Back. And because they held it, Larry Hama was back to G.I. Joe.
Yeah, always
Larry
G.I.
was
Joe.
able to write all the file cards and stuff. But man, they would have launched the same year if it was 81.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, 81,
Hasbro
82,
going
right
hard,
around there.
man.
I mean, as a little girl who was into fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that, even at this young age, Pony, it was right in my wheelhouse. They have unicorns, there's Pegasus, brightly colored, they're cool, they have a castle, you know what I mean? So that fantasy element is definitely what drew me. Because like you just said, there weren't other, like my Barbies, there were no mermaid Barbies when I was a kid. There was no,
Right.
there were no princess-themed castle Barbie castles or anything like that. So Pony was the first toy I ever had that was specifically fantasy-oriented that I was super.
So what have you
into-
brought for me today?
You see these all the time at the house. I made a list so I wouldn't forget what I had here. I just brought a selection of just cool, kind of rare.
Carol?
No.
Betty?
No.
June?
No, one of them is June.
Oh.
You hit
got
the
one
nail on
right.
the head. You got one right. I don't remember which one is June. One of them is.
So that was actually one of the first questions I had for Penelope. When she was setting these up, I was like, are you army building that pony?
So you really can't army build ponies because that's just weird.
You can army build
You can.
anything, my love.
But every pony has like a specific personality.
I know people that have
So-
But
400
people have Clutch Ram Man
Serpentors.
or whoever.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, listen. If I'm a collector of cotton candy, I want every iteration.
If you're going to collect Ram Man, it's very easy.
Oh, yeah.
It comes in every collection.
we have
You
like
can have
7 at the
hundreds of
store.
Ram Mans.
There's not many ponies they made that many different versions of, especially not in G1. But like, for example, Applejack today, if I were an Applejack collector, because of the new line recycling that old pony, I could have 7 different versions.
It's like Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Applejack, I would equate Applejack to Snake Eyes. There's a million versions of both.
Right.
But traditionally, G1 ponies didn't get repopped that much. They occasionally redid like a single figure, like then it'll come back later with like a flocking, or it'll come back later with the baby version of the adult pony.
So like baby Applejack.
There wasn't one of those, but yes, that's basically.
I got
I
what
didn't
you
realize that with the babies, they were baby versions of
It's
other
weird.
ponies.
Some
I don't
of
think
them-
every
They were the
time, but
ponies'
They're
kids.
not. Yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
every time. And it wasn't like.
Did they have the same cutie marks if they were?
Yes. So if you've got cotton candy and baby cotton candy, it's not the baby version of that pony. It's that pony's baby.
Oh, okay.
So like it's like George Foreman naming his kid George.
Yeah.
And they have the
It's-
same cutie marks? Is
Yes.
that like the family crest?
It can be, because later on they actually made pony families, and there'd be like, let's say the mom has a tree as her symbol and the dad has apples as his symbol, the baby will have an apple tree as its symbol. So it's like a combo.
That could get dangerous.
It's a little weird, yeah.
That could get really
I
odd.
think we're getting off track, but that's fine.
Now I think we need to be creating like the
I
amazing
can't wait to combine.
mark family trees.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Like
It's-
snowflakes and
Snowflakes and like cute huts, and it'll be like a cute little snowy house. Yeah.
an igloo.
Yes. yeah, exactly.
But what if they canceled each other out?
They don't.
What if it was like
They make sure that they find
Sunshine
ones.
and a stormy cloud.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. How does
Well,
that
then
work?
it's a sun with a cloud in front of it, and like maybe some raindrops, maybe.
What if it's fire and ice?
Well, then it would be like,
A puddle? Puddles.
listen, there's
Baby
no,
puddles.
There probably is a baby puddles. I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on that, but there probably is. If there isn't, there should be.
The
yeah,
babies'
so-
names are stuff like that.
Oh,
though.
they're all. Listen,
I'm gonna bring us back on track. So, what is the deal with the army
so-
of white and
Oh.
pink
All right.
ponies?
So I brought a little selection of just like my rarest stuff, because
Gotcha.
my collection, I literally have hundreds of ponies. I couldn't have brought all of them; it would have been insane. But I brought some really cool
We'll
like,
do this in segments.
mailaways and some rare stuff. And I brought the Eternia of My Little Pony. I brought Paradise Estate as well, just for fun.
That's an enormous box.
Dude, if you think it's big in the box,
Hasbro, baby.
Justin wanted me to set it up. It would not fit on the table.
Wow.
It's enormous.
the USS flag of.
There's even like a spot to put water so the sea ponies can swim, and it's like deep enough for them to actually float. It's
So-
serious.
Just like us with Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Pony had all the play sets. And you know, that's.
So many.
They
My
had
sister had the castle.
Yeah, the castle,
little
the
Spike
Terradrome
figurine.
of play sets.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Spike is awesome. Again, dragons, fantasy.
It's a time that will never come again with with the toys. It's great that the girls had what we had, right? And we see everything through our boy toy lens, basically. And
I mean, we did have the Barbie Dream House, you know, but before.
it came before, yeah. And then GI Joes had play sets early,
Yeah,
the
12
'60s
inch.
Joes and stuff.
All right, so to get us back on track, since you asked numerous times, these are mail-away birth flower ponies. The idea being, I was born in September, so I could mail away for the Morning Glory pony that was my birth flower.
Okay.
There were 12. I only have 11, and it's killing me. I still need February. It's
How
elusive.
hard are those to
elusive.
find? Was that a popular mail away? Or?
They're not. They were toward like middle end of the line.
Okay.
I actually never got it as a kid.
Gotcha.
Did you get your own as a kid?
No.
Oh,
Because like
No, I never got mine as a kid.
again, to not bring it back to GI Joe, but to bring it back to GI Joe, like the Hooded Cobra Commander mail away was available for many years, so making him a little bit easier to find versus like a one and done.
Yeah, this
you know.
was
Steel Brigade.
This was out for I believe a few years.
Fridge.
I wouldn't say like as far as mailaways go, they're not the rarest by
Okay.
any means, but they're still hard to find, especially in good condition, because they tend to discolor with the white. Or if you literally anything white, you play with it twice, it's got stains on it.
Yeah.
So it's harder to find them in decent condition. The hair comes curly. You can see this one is still in pretty good shape with the curls, but over time, the hair will straighten out. Like this one has more of the straight, and that's just from being played with
Yeah,
and
the more you
loved
brush it.
Combed.
and combed and carried around.
Now I've seen you
Yes.
like kind of rehabbing the ponies. Sometimes I'll come to the sink and there'll be like 12 ponies laying there drying with hair curlers.
Yeah.
I do go all out because, when I'm selling them, not just for my collection, but when we sell them in the store, you got to make sure that the girls
You
look
don't want
nice.
them frizzy and
Yeah, so you can actually do hot oil treatments like VO5,
Oh, yeah.
Vidal Sassoon. You can do that if they get very frizzy. Oh, it's a whole science.
Oh,
You've
I think
seen
we
me
need to do
all
like a
this.
Patreon clip about this. Like,
This is the hot oil treatment for My Little Pony.
What I'll do is
We'll shoot that for you.
You use regular shampoo, regular conditioner, and just to get that nice curl back into the tail, wrap it around
Don't
the
give
back
it away.
leg.
It's going to be a Patreon exclusive.
Wrap it around and set it there just like a curler, and let it air
These
dry.
are all
so
mail
I thought
aways.
maybe they would do like they made like 1/12 of the stock of each one of them, making each one sort of rare. It was why I was asking whether they were hard to find. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure. They're not crazy hard to find. They were cheap at the time, just like flag points.
Yeah.
There were horseshoe points for My Little Pony, so you could collect them on the back of boxes and trade them in along with some money to get your mail-aways. What's cool is that they're all different. Like you can see the different flowers on the side. They're all cool and different. I think this was the one from I think that's the Morning Glory from September.
What's September's birth flower?
I think it's the Morning Glory. I think it's that one right there.
You just said it, didn't you?
I think so, yeah.
how's that for a graphic design job? Yeah, I make horse butt marks.
Listen,
Hey,
Another hard day at the
Jobs
office.
It's
a
a
job.
living.
It's great. No, I just
It's
think it's
a living.
funny. We always talk about that.
I'd like to see the marketing meeting is like, listen, we need a pony with purple hair that's blue, and we want an ice cream shop on its butt.
Well, some of them, so there were some themes. You jokingly said this earlier, like were there teams, like were there Tiger Force ponies? There were runs. So there'd be like ice cream shop ponies, and they all smelled like different desserts and had
They
like.
even threw in smell in there as well.
Toward
Gotta
the
have
God, it's a
end,
multi.
toward the end there, just like G.I. Joe, everything had to be bright. It always comes back to G.I. Joe.
Did they
All
have
roads.
spring-loaded missile launchers?
No, but
Did
they
they
did have
smell
other
like patchouli?
gimmicks. There was never a patchouli smelling one, thank God, because patchouli makes me puke. But there was, ice cream shop had a scent. Perfume puff ponies smelled like different kinds of perfume and had like cute big hairdos that you could do. The more the line went on, the more gimmicks they had to come up with to keep
Just like any
kids
other line.
Because
interested.
they not only do they need like the new customers to have something, but
Yes.
they need the kids that are still in it
Yes.
from the long haul.
Was there ever
Yeah.
like did dinosaurs come in at the end with like laser guns on them and stuff?
No, but there was some weird. So one of the last ponies that ever came out actually talked,
Glow in the dark?
and it had there was tons of glow in the dark.
Yeah?
Wow, that's cool.
They had cosmic ponies that have like glitter and glow in the dark stuff, all kinds of. Yeah, there's so much. I could literally we could talk about ponies for.
It's
days.
funny because it's like an endless. You can use the same body. You just change the
Yes.
color of the hair. You just
Oh,
change
they
the
did
color of the
it-
body. You just change the butt mark.
They
And
did
it's
that
an-
endlessly.
The conglomeration, the the math of the different things you could do is
The number of combinations is outrageous.
yeah.
The first year there were only 6 ponies, and they just came in this exact. They call it the collector pose. It's just a standard, straight, flat, normal looking, as close to a normal looking horse as you can get. Just plain
Head
earth.
straight.
They call it the earth ponies because they're all 4 feet are on the ground. They're just plain and straight and normal. There were only 6 of them, and it was just 6 different colors, 6 different names, and it just ballooned from there.
So these you brought specifically mail away stuff, right?
Mostly. I do have one, so just to skip around a little bit, this one right here is Mimic. I think it's the only standard release pony I have here on the table. It's considered the rarest standard release. Now she's
There's a lot to unpack here.
she's a twinkle eye pony
I could see that.
instead of a regular eye, like the ponies normally
She's got
have.
like a gem in her
Yeah,
eye.
they normally have like a
I can
painted.
see there's a little reflection going on.
Yeah,
there.
a painted eye. She's a twinkle eye. She's from the second set of twinkle eye ponies.
Okay.
Because just like G.I. Joe, they recycle the idea. So like a year or two after they come out with an idea, they'll come out with a
Second
second
wave,
set. Yep. It's
Does
the
this
second
pose
wave.
have a name?
It probably does, and you're putting me on the spot.
I guess I shouldn't ask questions.
So a lot of ponies, earlier ones, had this pose. You've got your Glory was a second year unicorn that had that same pose with the hoof raised. It's a pretty standard unicorn pose. The trouble with that pose, though, is that only 3 feet are on the ground, so it's very unstable. If you don't sit them up directly, like perfectly straight, they
Yeah.
tend to fall over face forward.
Mimic. She has a parrot.
She has a parrot on her,
which is funny.
Hence the name. There's nothing
Come on,
specific.
sailor.
Stop. There's nothing specific. Always back to JoJo.
Of course, you want a cracker.
There's nothing. There's nothing specific about this pony that should make her like literally the rarest regular release. She had a short run. She was short packed in the wave.
Okay.
And she's beautiful. Her color scheme is great.
She is striking.
Yeah, her color scheme is really cool. She was from '87. It was just a short run. And it's really the secondary market, the collector market, that has made her explode.
So would you count the eye? What is that called?
Twinkle Eye.
The Twinkle Eye, was that like a gimmick they started in '87 to try and just kind of throw more stuff against the wall?
They started it a little earlier than that, but they were just anything they could do to make it, okay, what can we do to this pony to make it different than that pony? We'll do something with the eyeballs. What can we do with the eyeballs? Let's stick gems in the eyes.
God.
So they did Gem Eye, Twinkle Eye pony. They did something called a Betty by Eye pony, where, you know the traditional doll?
Yes.
Where
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And the eye opens?
Yes.
Creepy.
Having a stroke pony.
Creepy. Listen, I love pony, but those were creepy.
Any toy where its eye is like half open, like,
Yeah.
I'm your friend, little boy.
Yeah,
was
laudanum
creepy.
pony. Yeah.
Laudanum pony. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
definitely a little bit creepy there. But just to keep it, again, the gimmicks. One of the last ponies that came out actually spoke. There was a button on it that would talk to you. They had never done anything electronic like that before.
Talking commander pony.
You know, it just says generic things like, you're my best friend. My hair is so pretty to
We got a lot of that
brush."
stuff too.
And the gun sound effects at the
Yes,
end, you know?
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew. No. But there's always gimmicks. And they're always trying to keep things fresh and interesting. For the kids, you know, because we get bored. And if I already bought 7 ponies that look exactly like this one, why am I going to want another one?
Was there new mailaways for every year?
Almost every year. Once they started, I have the first ever mail away pony right there in the front row. There's a blue one with blue hair, a pink one with purple hair, and a purple one with pink hair. The baby's in the front there. That's Baby Ember. That's the first mail away pony and the first baby pony ever available.
All 3 of them are Baby Ember?
All 3 of them are Baby Ember. You could choose which one you wanted when you bought it. Oh, So now that blue one there, the blue on blue is mine from when I was a kid.
That's cool.
I got most of my toys at yard sales and flea markets. We've talked about this a lot on previous shows, Kevin.
So you didn't order that?
We did order it, and it was a big deal.
Oh.
We didn't, listen, I love flea markets and yard sales with my mom. It's how I got most of my toys in general.
So you chose blue on blue.
So there were no boy ponies at that point. So I figured if it was blue, it must be a boy.
God.
Now, in canon, Ember is a girl. Even blue on blue, all the Embers are supposed to be girls.
Knowing you.
But Baby Ember was my boy, my only boy pony.
Gotcha.
And how I know that you struggle deciding things sometimes.
It was a no-brainer for me, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
Like
blue,
marrying me.
What were we saying about struggling? Blue on blue is a no-brainer for me because, like I said, there were in my head canon. Now, I got to be honest, I barely watched the show as a kid.
Okay.
I made up my own stories. So, like, the ponies had names, which was cool. But, like, if I got it at a flea market, I didn't know its name. I just made up a story.
Right.
As an adult now, I know the names. But as a kid, I just made up my own imagination.
You would just look at its butt.
I would look at its
and
butt
base
and
whatever
make
you
something
got.
up.
What it was,
yeah.
yeah.
But Ember, listen, I got the little mail away thing. I got
Wow.
to check the box, and I may be misgendering him, but he's always been a boy pony in my head canon.
He identifies as a boy pony.
He's always been a boy in my playing. He was the
awesome.
only boy pony I ever had. As
And
a
the
kid.
other 2 are just different color variations
Yes, they're
of
just
that.
different variants. Of
How
the
many
same
different
pony.
color variations were possible?
Just those 3.
So you have all, you crossed the
Yes,
off. Okay,
you had
that's
blue
good.
on blue, pink on purple, and purple
As a
on
collector,
pink.
I was stressed out for a second.
Now, to make it even more confusing,
Do you know how many Steel Brigades there are?
Well, it's very Steel Brigade like, but there weren't that many. Like, I couldn't choose the hair color and the body color. There was no like cutie mark to throw in there. Only pony that didn't come with a cutie mark, by the way, no cutie mark.
Baby Ember doesn't have a cutie mark?
No cutie mark on Baby Ember.
What makes it Ember?
The fact that it came in a thing that said Baby Ember, and I could buy Baby Ember, and you tell it on the mail order sheet, Baby Ember.
That's tragic.
I don't know if they knew what they were
It's like an
doing at the
uncooked
beginning.
Yeah, maybe
potato
they
or
just
something.
didn't know the cutie marks were that important yet, or they
It
didn't
was-
want to print on the tiny body.
Maybe. It was the first baby pony, and I think maybe they wanted to see how it went.
Maybe.
Which leads me to the next thing I want to talk about. Right next to the 3 Baby Embers, actually above on the second shelf there, we have yet another 4th Baby Ember. Are you ready for this? Listen and Fun Baby Ember.
Listen
That
and
sound
fun.
familiar?
I recognize that.
It all comes back to G.I. Joe.
Is it bright orange?
No, it's lavender on lavender, but it has a cutie mark. It has a white star.
So a white star. I wonder why that
Yes.
means ember. There was a liquor store near me when I was a kid called White Star Liquors.
Probably
probably
not
what it was
related.
Right.
Yeah, did it burn down? Because
No, you could start a fire with some of that
Yeah,
rot gut they
the
were
listen
selling
and
on the
fun story was about Baby Ember burning down the.
liquor store.
No, it wasn't. I made
She's
that
a
up.
fire starter.
I want to get a picture of Tripwire riding that Listen and
Yeah.
Fun Baby Ember.
That's
Do you have
actually-
the tape?
I no longer have the tape, but I'll never forget. That's also my Baby Ember Listen and Fun from when I was a kid.
So Listen and Fun was
It was a tape that came.
cassette tape.
Yeah, a cassette tape you could listen to that
And a
would tell
toy.
you a story,
Yes.
plus a toy that went along with the
Yes.
story.
and we're comparing it to the G.I. Joe Tripwire.
Yes. What was his story like?
He's got to take mines out of the front lawn of the White House. Cobra has like sabotaged the White
It
House.
was January 7th.
I was gonna say I didn't want to say that, but that's messed up. So,
Sorry.
Baby Ember's tape was called Ember's Dream, and it was about Baby Ember having a dream and like going around and having cute little baby pony adventures.
Okay.
I had to go to the dentist to get a cavity filled, and I was terrified to go. So on our way home, we stopped at, I think it was like a 5 and 10 Ben Franklin, and my mom bought me Listen and Fun Baby Ember as like my you did good at the dentist prize.
That's
Aw,
awesome.
So that's your
Yeah.
childhood Baby
Yes,
Ember.
that is my childhood Baby Ember. But I always found it interesting that, first of all, there were 3 different versions of Ember out there. In my head, they all had distinct personalities, different personalities. But then there was a 4th Baby Ember who was like,
Same pose?
yeah,
Oh my God.
Just reusing that body.
Boy.
It's odd they didn't just rename them though, since they don't look alike. You know.
Yeah, they use the same body for everybody
it's
else and
weird.
renamed them.
Yeah, there's also Firefly is a popular character
Okay.
who they redid her pose a few times.
Oh.
But then they also came out with a baby Firefly, orange. Has
she-
nothing to do. She was pink and blue.
she a
This is like
saboteur?
this is like orange and totally unrelated. So it's weird that they'll recycle names.
Now I
like-
want to know how many GI Joes and My Little Pony share names, because I always think about that with Transformers, GI Joe, Cops,
Yeah.
and GI
Sure.
Joe.
Yep.
So Firefly,
All right,
we're up to 1.
I'm just gonna start naming. You ready? I'm gonna name every pony.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Butterscotch?
Cotton candy,
Sergeant Butterscotch.
Applejack,
No. I think Firefly might be the only
Minty, Sergeant Minty. He's definitely a thing.
one. Minty, yeah.
All right, who else do I have here? I'm trying to stay on point a little bit. Who else? All right, we talked about that.
So the 3 little embers were mail-aways. that ember was a
Yes.
Listen and Fun.
It was Listen Fun. You could buy in a standard store.
All right.
Yeah. Who else do I have here? Oh, Goldilocks is really cool. Right here, the pink with the yellow. She has a teddy bear, and I guess it's a bowl of. What did Goldilocks eat?
Mashed potatoes.
Oatmeal? It was not mashed potatoes. Was it oatmeal?
Porridge.
Porridge, thank
Yes.
you. So I'm presuming that that's a teddy bear and a bowl of porridge as her cutie mark there. So in 1990, they did a run of mail-aways that were based on fairy tales.
Okay.
So this type of pony, you'll notice that she's more like slim and tall.
Yes.
Versus the other
Not
ponies.
the traditional body type.
Yeah, she's called a sweetheart sister, which is something that they introduced a little later in the run. Just again, trying different things. So they did different body, different. I kind of consider them like teenagers. They're sort of like slim and sleek and like.
Leggy.
Again, in my headcanon, they're teenager ponies. They did a bunch of different runs of those with different gimmicks, earrings, glitter, butts, the whole thing.
Is Rapunzel one of those?
Rapunzel is from this line of mail-aways, but she's not a sweetheart sister. She's a traditional pony. So Goldilocks,
Interesting.
yeah,
Because she is a fantasy.
yes, Rapunzel, and she has all the hair to go along
Yeah.
with her name. So Goldilocks has obviously the very curly gold hair, which fits her name. I guess on like the retail market, she's probably worth 50, 60, maybe 70
What's on her butt?
bucks. The bowl of grits and
Porridge,
the teddy
mashed
bear
potatoes.
and the teddy bear. And there is a variant of her, which I only learned about recently. You're learning, in what we do, we learn new things every
Yes.
day. There's a variant of her butt mark where on both sides, she'll have the bowl of porridge on the left and the teddy bear on the right, on both sides of the butt. Whereas the version I have is porridge on the left, on the right side, and then on the left
Oh,
side,
you
it's
need to
porridge on
get
the right.
That version too.
I didn't know there was a variant, or I
It's like
Yeah.
Duke with his sleeves.
it's
or, you know,
crazy. And there's
yellow neck Serpentor.
So even it's funny that you mentioned that. Even when it's not an actual official variant that's like been realized or was intentional or not, I have in my personal collection ponies that are wildly different that aren't supposed to be.
Now,
Just the
sometimes you
different
chalk that up to
production.
possible discoloration over time.
That's coloring. I'm talking like the pose is slightly different.
Oh,
Like the head is more up or more down. The face is chubbier or less chubby.
Are ponies like Star Wars? Were they made in different? Okay, that makes sense.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
You've
'cause
got
you know how
Taiwan.
Star Wars is.
You've got Taiwan and Hong Kong.
Yep.
Another thing with ponies is that in other countries and in other areas, there were a lot of variants that were never available in the States. I brought a cool example
Same with
of
G.I.
that.
Joe.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of skipping around here, but I think that's fine. Right here, these two blue, we've got bow tie and then baby bow tie. Baby bow tie was never available in the United States. It's a UK only thing. You cannot get that in the United States.
It's me, baby bow tie.
And I would have said those were ribbons, not bow ties.
Oh, well, they are, but it's like a bow.
You can tie a bow with a ribbon.
You can tie a bow.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can see that the full size bow tie there, it's the standard, it's that traditional collector's pose again. Whereas the version that we got here in the States, her head is turned and she's a little bit of a chunkier. It's the Applejack pose because Applejack was the first pony ever available in that pose. The head is slightly turned, the hair flip goes over the side, and like you've got like the full, again, Earth pony, 4 feet on the ground, standard horse.
Applejack was a Earth pony as well, right?
Yes.
So they changed her pose, and she was the first to have a changed pose.
No, she was the first. She was the first pony to come in that pose I just mentioned.
Okay.
I don't have an example of it out here. Just like the head turned, 4 feet on the floor, like standard. But the important thing is that the head is turned and that hair flip.
I feel like a whole episode could just be like
Poses.
pony like vocabulary. This is an Earth pony.
dude.
This is a
Oh, yeah.
you know like
Cutie
we
mark.
we could do that if you want.
And the different poses.
I told
Or
myself
the different, flocked,
there's so many
the
different
gimmicks
types.
of ponies.
Yeah. I told myself I was not going to get into international ponies, but these came up on auction. I have a saved search, and they popped up on eBay many years ago, and they were cheap. I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to buy them.
We
just
also
'cause
have
they're
a
cheap.
friend who has a toy store in London.
Yeah.
Who knows she likes ponies. Johnny Monkey at Monkey's
Emporium.
And it's cool because the colors are wildly different, or the cutie marks are completely different.
Yeah, they'll have different poses for the same pony. They'll have different colors with the same name. It's just
like-
crazy.
There's a South American ponies as well, right?
So okay,
well, those have got to
are
be
you
Mission
ready?
Hill.
They are. Are you ready? There are some versions of ponies that were only available in the UK that were never available here. Argentinian ponies, insane. The
have to be.
variants. Now, there's a couple different reasons why the variants are insane. The production quality was just bad.
every
So-
toy that comes out
exactly.
of Argentina
So
has weird
sometimes-
colors and bad quality.
So sometimes the colors were wrong,
Thing.
but they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like this should have been produced in pink, but they made white because they ran out of pink.
Yeah,
so
just-
there's a lot of that down there. But also they just had versions of things that we never got.
Was it Plastorama maybe? Or whoever made it.
Yeah.
Like the quality is always crap, but they're always so soft.
El Greco is a company that made them. I think those were the South American ones, but to confuse things, there are Greek ponies that are also insanely different and rare.
Specifically Greek?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be a total expert on all the different variations, but there are ridiculous versions because there's so many variants of poses and so many colors and so many different styles. They would simplify. So in other countries, maybe they only got 3 molds. So they had to make bow tie in a collector pose because they never got the correct mold for the correct actual bow tie
Oh my
release.
God.
And I'm
this
sure
seems like a harder. If you're going to
they
go
went
international,
avant-garde.
yeah.
it
It's
seems
crazy.
like a very
and
hard
it's,
line.
it's why I
to
told
nail
myself
down.
I would never do it, and yet I've got bow tie.
And yet you got him, governor.
Yeah, listen,
It's nice to have one little slice to
It's-
represent that other thing.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Sure.
my international example.
Yes.
I'm done.
So Justin is dying to talk about Hollywood. Because,
I don't know nothing about Hollywood. I just love the story.
So in '86, there was the My Little Pony movie was coming
Yes.
out, and to hype up the movie, they did a mail away promo. And the idea was like you kind of didn't know what you were going to get because the premise was like, who is going to save the ponies? Who is going to be the hero of the movie? Well, the Flutter Ponies were the hero of the movie.
Is that when they introduced Flutter Ponies?
Yes.
Oh.
So Flutter Ponies were introduced that year.
What's a Flutter Pony?
A Flutter Pony is, again, you're going to have like that slim sort of body style, but they still have that short stature. So it's sort of a cross between a sweetheart sister and a baby pony. But the one thing that they have that makes them hard and rare to get in good condition is they have these wings that go into their backs.
Like sectars.
They're
Yes.
like little clear plastic
Exactly like Sectars. That's
wings.
a great example.
And there's a little button on the back that kind of makes them.
It makes the
move
wings.
a little bit.
She sort of shrugs and makes the wings move.
My sister had one of those. That one stayed on her bureau instead of going in the bin with the other ponies.
Because
Smart.
it breaks easy. Yeah, she was smart to do that.
Yeah.
So the very first release of any Flutter Ponies, it came in like a party pack. That's how they always introduce new ponies for like that year. At the beginning of the year, they would put out like a play set. Not a play set, but like a pack. They did a slumber party pack. They did a birthday party pack.
With ours.
So you would get one of each of the new ponies styles that was coming out that year in your party pack.
Wow, that's
or,
cool.
you know, whatever the pack was that year.
Oh, wow. So they would mix styles, like classic pose, flutter, flocked, twice
it's funny,
as fancy.
It's funny that you mentioned that. So in the party set, you got a Flutter pony, you got a
sea pony,
a baby sea pony. It was the first time they had baby sea ponies.
That's cool.
You know, it had a pearlescent shimmer, which
now,
was
would these
gimmick.
be repacked later on in the same colors, or would they change the colors up?
You could not get those you could not get those exact ponies anywhere but in that set.
This stresses me out as a collector.
Yeah. So the first year they did Flutter Ponies, the design was even more flawed than it ended up being because the wing was molded into the back. You could not remove the wing.
So when they broke, they broke.
So when they broke, they broke.
They probably got a million letters.
I have my original, and the wings are just broken out, and there's nothing you could dig it out.
So I bet trying to find them in good condition is very
It's impossible.
tough. Yeah.
Now they got smart later on, and they made it so that the wings had a little plastic tab.
Like Sectars.
Yes, the plastic tab would fit into a slot on the back of the body.
Yes.
And it was removable for storage, and so they wouldn't break off. They still broke off, but it wasn't as dramatic.
Well, I assume all the wings were interchangeable between ponies.
You could. I mean, they were all basically the same.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But you could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Putting them in backwards was always a thing. That could happen because the way that the tabs work, they were interchangeable. So you could put them in this way or flip it around and do it the other way.
It's like Sectars.
So I was always
I
messing
hate
up
to keep
and
saying it,
putting
but the
them
wings
wrong.
work the
Very
same way.
similar.
They
Very
only look
similar,
right
yeah.
one way, but you can actually turn them around or backwards and stuff.
Yeah. So to kick off the movie and to kick off the whole idea of Flutter Ponies, they did this mail away, and it was a surprise. Like you didn't really know what you were getting. It was just like a cool. You could like pick. I'm trying to recall now. I should have Googled this. I think you could either pick the one you wanted, or one of the three that you could pick from was going to be the one that saves the day in the movie. Someone help me in the comments. I don't recall offhand because I'm on the spot. But at the end of the day, Hollywood is the one who saves the day, or her team saves the day. Hollywood's not actually in the movie.
But she's named Hollywood because they were making a Hollywood
Because they were making a movie, yeah. So you should have known from that.
What year's the movie?
86.
G.I. Joe?
86, yeah.
Oh, Transformers. 87 was G.I. Joe.
Well, Transformers started it off, and it tanked horribly because they killed off Optimus Prime. Spoilers. The My Little Pony movie.
Did it tank?
Transformers underperformed.
Yeah.
But My Little Pony, they lost their shirts on.
Yeah.
And then G.I. Joe went
because it was
straight
in theaters.
It was in theaters. And it had, listen, Danny DeVito, Madeline Kahn. It had actual actors in the roles.
Well, they did that for all of them.
Yeah, they all did.
But the movie,
Nimoy was in
the
Transformers.
movie didn't do well. But
Robert Stack.
Oh God! But what is cool is we got Hollywood, and again, she's not actually featured in the movie, like her character itself. But the
That's
idea,
so interesting to promote a movie with a toy that's not going to be in the movie.
It is. It's
Like-
kind of meta calling her Hollywood.
Yeah.
that was how I think that's how you knew that the Flutter Ponies were going to save the day because that one was named Hollywood. Like on your mail order form, like who's going to save the day? Is it going to be Jim,
Were they
Billy,
created
or
as, like,
Hollywood?
in a science lab by the other ponies? Like we need to make flying ponies.
No, I don't think so.
Were the ones aren't
You're gonna
there
just keep asking me dumb
aren't
questions?
there unicorns with wings, but they're not like flutter wings? They're just like molded on wings.
Yeah, most of the.
Were they jealous of the flutter ponies because they had actual wings that worked?
I'm gonna go with no. There's no jealousy in Ponyland. That's a negative emotion. We don't have those.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just messing around. But anyway, so right there in the front, you'll see the bright pink. She's still in her bag.
Yes.
She's still sealed in her mailaway bag. Justin got her for me for my birthday many years ago on one of our many trips.
It was one of our first. So we do every year. Basically, we go on some sort of trip, and
We try to.
because we live what we do and still love it, we're not like tainted to it. We are still toy collectors. So when we go on a trip somewhere, whether it be overseas, here in the States, whatever, we always find toy stores and places to shop around.
We did a great episode on your
A
one of our recent-
Route 40
yeah.
trip, right?
Yeah.
So that was the, that was the biggest of them all.
Yes.
But every time we do
try to
any
go on
sort
some
of
kind
road
of
trip,
road trip.
it is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
We find around what we're going to be and choose places. But not everything is open on the days we're there.
Right.
So we were at a place in Cleveland called Big Fun.
It was Big Fun, and they recommended a place called Star Pop.
I forget.
That was closed that day.
Up near Erie, but up near the lake in Ohio-ish.
If I recall correctly.
This was years ago.
Many years ago, 15 maybe.
So we called, and I think that Big Fun told the guy that we were going to be coming up.
He was closed that day, but we were there, and they called and said, "Hey, these are serious toy people. You should let him in."
Serious toy people.
Yeah. They're serious. They want to buy stuff.
They were just nice, and he was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came and opened.
Yep. Let us in.
Let us in the basement, and let us look. It's just the cool stuff that when you commiserate and do this thing, it's a different level when you do it for a living than when you're just out there, hunting. Because I got to tell you, I don't know if I'd feel like opening for just a hunter, but like. It really depends on the vibe of the person. Mm-hmm. And obviously this was a super nice guy.
And he had not ever even talked to us, let alone met us.
Yeah.
So he came and opened up, and Hollywood was in one of his cases, and I knew I had to have it. And I said, "How much?" And he's like, "Well, it's not really for sale." And I felt that.
It's part of my museum.
Yeah, I was going to
that.
say, I think you guys know that.
He didn't say it was part of his museum. And he was like, "Well, I don't know." And I was like, "Listen, man, it's my birthday. It was right around my birthday."
Well, it's the truth, because that's the impetus for our trips.
Gotcha.
We always have a September, early October trip because her birthday is September, and we usually call it her birthday trip.
Yeah.
We used to go and visit graves.
That's part of
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah.
And it has turned into like graves and toy stores, and
it's a little bit of whatever we're into.
Yeah.
But the great thing about visiting graves is it's free.
Yeah.
There's no admission fee. You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about
not just random graves, not like John Smith from Maryland,
famous
celebrities,
right.
people we're interested in.
But,
paying our respects.
Yeah. So Hollywood is she's unique because flutter ponies are impossible to find in good shape because of the wing breakage.
She's still in her
mail-away bag, which is really cool. Her wings are actually not inside the bag. They're in their own bag, taped to the outside of her bag. So that's kind of interesting. They're like in a bag.
Seems less protected being in a bag outside of the bag.
But I guess they're not banging around inside there with her. I'm not sure what the idea was behind that. One other cool, unique thing about Hollywood, she is the only flutter pony to have glitter on her symbol.
Ooh.
That's a big
glitter cutie mark.
I mean, she's Hollywood. She's got to be glittery.
Were there other mail-away flutter ponies?
Why do you always ask me questions I can't answer?
What was her cutie mark? Is
Probably.
it like...
It's stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like Ember.
No, were there glittery stars.
Oh, not just a single white
not
star,
just a single
White Star
giant
Liquors.
White Star Liquors.
On Wissahickon Avenue in Ventnor.
Why? This is the second time we said Wissahickon today. Why?
On the way up here, we passed Wissahickon Park.
And it's fun to say Wissahickon.
It is. Yeah,
it's a good word.
But
But it's just cool. The fact that she's still in her bag. We have been selling toys as I want to say professionals in quotation marks, but we've been selling toys seriously for over 10 years. I have never seen another Hollywood, let alone one still in her mail-away bag.
They're out there, but it's rare.
I've never seen one come up on eBay. I've never seen another one ever in person or ever. She's probably, I know Mimic is really cool, Goldilocks is really cool, but I think Hollywood is probably the coolest pony that I own. And also, I have great memories of that great trip and my birthday. So it's nice.
And we've done lots of trips, man. We've been lots of places.
Yeah.
Lots of great toy stores. And we take, inspiration from other people's stores. And we love to meet. There's a lot of people out there that have been doing it that are kind of jaded to it now. Especially because there's so much new blood in it.
Yeah, there's so many of us that do this.
But I love the positive people and the inspiration we take from doing, seeing things that we don't have, and there's a little bit of envy sometimes, when somebody's got something amazing. But I'm just glad the stuff's still out there, and there's
the museum thing we do isn't just a shtick. I mean, it's great because then we don't have to sell stuff. But I genuinely appreciate.
Well, people are gonna be like, "What do you mean it's great to not sell stuff?"
It's great to have stuff that's mine, but also show it off.
Yeah.
But you derailed me. I forget what I was going to say. It's great that stuff exists and it's being preserved, and there are other people that care about it as much as we do.
Yep.
We're not crazy anomaly people. There are other people that care about this, not just because it looks cool on a shelf, but because it matters historically. It matters.
What's really cool is
they matter.
Once some people are done. Most of these, the girl grew up and she was done.
Right.
But the fact that somebody in a collector's hands, they made it to a collector's hands. Now it's on a shelf being talked about. Little Molly in 1985 loved this thing. Mm-hmm. and grew out of it, but now it's still being.
Yeah.
It didn't end up in a landfill.
Yes.
Or in a trunk or
Still
in
being
an attic.
appreciated.
And that's the best thing about this, the fact that we still love the stuff. That's my favorite thing. And Jet Jaguar.
Oh, I hate you. Down there on the, I guess, lower, it's going to be on the lower right for you guys, on my lower left, there's a white baby pony with red hair.
Oh, yeah. I see her.
That is actually right next to BB Ember, who was the first mail away, the first baby pony. We also have, unofficially, she's called Baby Stockings. She doesn't actually have a name.
Okay.
But she has a Christmas stocking on her butt, so Baby Stockings is the title. She's the last mail away pony that was ever made, which I got on our trip when the one we spoke about on our
Route 40
episode,
trip.
Our Route 40
You can
trip.
watch an episode right here, right? We talked about it here.
Probably below here in the comments. I got it at 1313 Mockingbird, which is another group of great people that do what we do, who are into it like we are.
Kansas.
But it's
Lawrence, Kansas.
It's interesting to see the differences and the similarities between the first and the last.
The last. So
The final mail away, the last released mail away that you could
of
actually
G1
get.
ponies.
Of G1 ponies.
Which is like talking about Ara, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
What years with G1 ponies?
91, 92 is really, it was 10 years basically. So you
Okay.
had like 81, 82. The lines came out like over Christmas, sort of. So like 81, 82 would be like year one, whereas the final year would be like 90, 91. So it was about 10 years.
And that's the official last mail away for G1. I wonder, I don't know, and I'm not putting you on the spot for G2 mail-aways. But that's known as the final G1 mail-away.
G2 was a weird line. They were ugly.
Oh, yeah.
The
molds were terrible.
The body styles were weird. They were like... Maybe
They're trying to reinvent it.
Emaciated.
They were just like, so I think the best way to, a best analogy would be when they brought back He-Man for like a minute and a half and it was terrible.
New Adventures.
The New Adventures of He-Man. G2 is the New Adventures.
There's people with nostalgia for that now.
Listen, and that's fine. I'm not yucking anybody's yum. It was just not my thing.
And they were such a departure.
Yes.
It really was just a new He-Man for a new generation.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, complete departure.
And G2 My Little Ponies, I think it's probably what they were doing. It's
Probably.
like,
The style, the body
80s girls did
style.
this, and it petered out. So how do we move forward?
My Little Pony started out like the body style. It's very
cute.
It's cute, and that's exactly the word I wanted to use. It's cute. It's Holly Hobby. It's Strawberry Shortcake. It still has that 70s throwback. It has the bulbous body and the cute chunky feet and the big cute head. They tried to get away with that.
Is that why you married me?
Yes, you remind me of My Little Pony.
You have a cute bulbous head.
The Sweetheart Sisters, they tried to get away from that, but that was them trying to get away from what made My Little Pony cool.
Yeah.
And then G2, forget it. It was like these like weird. It had like these heads that bobbled up and down with like a round thing. Not good. Not good. It's the dark times. We don't talk about
And just
the
like
dark
everything
times.
else, I mean, you've seen them on the shelves. There are remolded using this mold vintage My Little Ponies.
Oh, you mean like the 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary? Totally.
And then they've done some really cool things where they're mashing them together with like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And that's
Ghostbusters.
Those are like G4 style molds, like a newer. Like they're repopping this type of pony, but they're also doing new ponies still.
Yeah, you can tell by like the eyes are a little more anime.
Yeah, you can just tell if you know what you're looking for. You can just tell that they're from a different era. The way the eye is painted.
Talk about the bottoms of the feet real quick.
So originally, the very first ponies that came out, the collector pose, the 6, had flat feet.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, after that, they decided that flat feet was no good. So they
another
have
pony.
the concave feet, just like so.
Flat feet is another pony.
It's another glossary term.
Gotcha.
For
that original first year run.
The first
now they
6,
redid those.
They did
6 that aren't flat feet.
Yep,
kind of like straight
them.
arms.
Yeah,
they
straight and
did.
swivel
It's
arm.
exactly like straight and swivel arm. So you can like my collection. I have the 6 flat foot, and I also have that.
Did
same
that make
year.
them balance better by not having so much surface contact?
There might be a reason for it. I don't. If there is a reason, I don't remember what it is. I don't. I
Maybe it
can't.
came out of the mold easier. Who knows?
There's got
it had
be
to
a
be something
reason
to do
for
with the
it.
molding.
It's a little more realistic because it has like it's almost
makes it
like
feel
they're
like a hoof
wearing
a little bit.
exactly. It's almost like they're wearing a little shoe there.
The hoof.
The hoof. No.
Sorry, Godfather. Goodfellas.
Why?
I got a deer stuck in the front.
What else do I have up here?
There's a blue unicorn with pink horn all the way on the far end. I don't know what the story is with that one.
Oh, okay. So I've got a couple. So there's some more rare mailaways. Babies tend to be rarer just because like they're
They
cooler.
went hard on the mailaways with babies.
They did go hard on mail-away babies because
Probably fit in that mailer box.
they did. They fit better. They're lighter and smaller to produce, less plastic.
Get the postage.
But they're also cuter. Let's be honest. What's cuter? A pony that size, a pony that size, or a pony this size? I think this size is cute.
Obviously, the baby is
The babies
cutest.
are really cute.
Right.
So
Is it baby Tappy?
no, so Baby Tappy is like my favorite baby pony.
I love the name.
So they made something called like newborn baby ponies. So if you thought baby ponies were
And then
cute,
preemies.
they actually listen. Don't make a face. Baby ponies are small and cute. They made even tinier ones with cuter legs. They're so tiny, like this bigger, cute little feet. People are tuning out at this point because I'm making the baby
I'm loving
noises.
this because I don't get to see this cutie side of you all the time.
They made. I really should have brought like one of every kind. I'll come back
Next
and talk
time.
about
That's for the
ponies
glossary
again.
episode.
Yeah, this is more of just like a kind of a refresher on some mailaways and rarities. But they made baby pony mailaways. They did a version. They're called pearlized. That's the pink and the blue and purple there.
Okay.
Basically, they took existing. I'm guessing they just had extra stock laying around.
Of course, that's what mailaways were all about.
Exactly. So they took these extra regular old baby ponies that they had already done in like 83, 84, 85, and they just took like pearlescent paint and just sprayed them. So you've got a pink pony with pink pearlescent paint, and they didn't care. It went over the eyes. It went over the symbols. They're just pink, just all over pearlescent. And then you've got next to it a pony that was originally white. They redid in a blue and then pearlescent blue. And there were
Fluorescent, so what, like a coat?
yeah, it's like a coating. It's almost
Okay.
like a powder
It's that
coating.
shiny.
Yeah. Imagine like a powder coated car part.
Yeah, they use it on
except-
cars. Pearlescent
yeah.
paint on cars. Yeah.
But imagine a My Little Pony just dipped in this pearlescent, shiny, shimmery paint.
Okay.
But they didn't care if it went over her eyes, so she's got pearlescent eyes. Pearlescent
It's just a complete
everything.
coating around the whole thing.
Complete coating
Kind of
from
like
head to toe.
a force field.
Yeah, I like that. We're gonna go with
Carbonite.
that. It's like a pony. Yeah, carbonite. Cha-cha-wa. So they did a whole mail, and they're for whatever reason they're more rare. They came out a little later in the run. Less people bought them. Less people mailed away. So they're a little more rare now. And then next to that, there's a type of pony called twice as fancy. So a normal pony just has the butt symbol. Twice as fancy ponies have symbols like all over their body.
It's like a full body tattoo.
Oh, I
They're
think my
like-
sister had one with like raspberries or something everywhere.
Yes,
or something like that.
that's
Yeah.
a good
chicken pox.
Strawberries, maybe.
So, okay, let's talk about some gimmicks here. We've got the spinning tail, where it has a crank under its neck, and you crank it, and then the tail spins, and it kind of flops, so it dances, sort of.
Oh. Tailspin.
Cha-cha-wa.
How many Jaguars is that? Please
So,
give us a count in the,
They called them
comments.
They called them dance and prance ponies. The idea
Okay.
being that you twist its neck, which made the spring up in its body wherever, and then it made the tail spin in a ridiculous whirl, but it made the actual body of the pony sort of shimmy back and forth. So it was dance and prance.
Okay.
How many different kinds of ponies can I mention? Let's talk about it real fast. Earth ponies, we got Pegasus, we got Unicorn, we've got Twice as Fancy, we've got sea ponies, we have baby sea ponies, we have pearlized baby sea ponies because they just went all out.
Flutter.
We've got flutter ponies. We've got
What are the ones that are like, they have like stuff all over them?
Twice
Is
as
there ones with
Fancy,
like
we talked
gems
about
and stuff
that.
over them too?
no.
Oh.
No.
Is there ones that have like molded things all over them?
So there was one that had like a molded like a bubble on its butt kind of, and it would have like a cute little like a brush or something that popped out of the pocket. I don't remember the name.
The ones that with the tails that spin. So we're up to 10
Dance
already.
and Prance,
And there's definitely some that we're not.
But if a
There's
line
millions.
lasted
There's,
10 years, you have to imagine there's 10 gimmicks. 10,
we've got the Twinkle Eye ponies,
You know,
Betty
at
by
least.
Eye ponies.
Oh, that's right.
The
12.
drinking wet baby ponies. We had newborn baby ponies. It's another kind of baby pony. We had Big Brother ponies because that's
Cleveland Steamer.
why do you got to bring him up? So there is a pony named Steamer, and I did get mine in Cleveland, so it's kind of like a joke with us.
That's great.
He's my Cleveland Steamer, yeah.
Don't Google that, kids.
The this is PG-13, right? I can say that.
Sorry, Kevin.
Edit, Bruce. You're gonna have to edit some of this. Yeah, so the Big Brother ponies were
Brothers.
They were slightly larger in stature, and they had like the Clydesdale hoof.
Yeah, I remember when those came out. I remember those thinking, oh, they finally made a boy pony.
Finally,
Yep.
and that was a big thing for me. I had
One
no
had a
big-
hat on, right?
That was Steamer because he
Okay.
has his like train conductor hat
Choo-choo.
on because he was a train. It was a steam train. Was his gimmick. and there was one with like baseball hat because he's a little baseball. And it was all like tough boy stuff, like baseball and trains and
Trains
boats.
are such tough boy stuff.
I know.
All the tough boys I knew played with trains.
Listen, I know it's easy to make fun of the toy line because it's kind of ridiculous.
I'm just having fun. I love the toy line.
G.I. Joe, even when it was ridiculous, it's still military based.
No, it got really ridiculous.
It did get really ridiculous, but it's still like military, space,
we can
dinosaurs.
make fun of Ninja Force all you want.
Yeah. But My Little Pony was more lighthearted and fantastical.
Of course.
So there was a lot of ridiculous crap going on.
You want about, dude, G.I. Joe in the cartoon went to like ancient Egypt and like
listen, I know.
fought Ra or something. I forget.
Did they go to Stonehenge ever?
Excalibur, I believe
exactly.
Stonehenge was in the Excalibur episode where Storm Shadow gets
goodness.
Excalibur, if I'm correct.
Why does he?
Because him having Excalibur made all kinds of bad things happen in the UK. Like I think there was like floods and storms and stuff. I'm just saying it got fantastical.
That ridiculous, you mean?
That too.
So this is just a small selection of some of the stuff I thought was really cool for my collections. A few other things back here I just brought for the heck of it. Again, I did bring Paradise Estate. I will not bore you to death by bringing all of this out of the box. Can I just tell you that it is a pony mansion that takes up, it's as big as the flag, I think. I really do.
I got a couple questions about this. I mean, you might not know all of them.
Real quick,
I'm
because
gonna lie
we might
if I
have
don't.
some answers for you.
Okay.
If you go to our YouTube page,
Yes.
we do a From Retro to Right Now review of that.
Okay.
So
where it's laid out.
Yeah, we're getting more in depth
So,
about it.
after you watch this and all the rest of,
Pegwarmers.
Pegwarmers,
Playlist.
Yes.
go head over to the Farpoint playlist and watch our From Retro to Right Now because we really get in depth on that
I
thing.
get really into it.
So my first question is, what era of G1 did this come out? Was this early, middle, end of the line?
I'd say like early middle. If I had to, I don't remember the exact year offhand, which is killing me. But
That's why I didn't ask.
If I had to turn it into a rainbow, I would say about here, early middle.
Is Castle before it or after
Yes,
it?
the castle was one of the first.
G.I. Joe headquarters.
It's your basic.
Everything is through that filter.
You've got, so early on, you've got the Pretty Parlor, which is just basically you get a pony, a bunch of brushes, and like some show stable type.
They had some great play
accessories. Now they redid a lot
Oh, the
of
show
this crap.
stable.
The show stable was great because it's like you've got your little jumping stuff, so your pony can like win a prize.
There's
it has
like a
little trophies.
waterfall.
I actually have it over there. There's a waterfall with an actual water gimmick.
The cloud that rains.
It's a cloud
My
that
sister
rains.
had that. That
Cool.
sat in our bathtub.
That was my favorite. It's right over there. I brought it just in case I wanted to talk about
Rubber
it.
baby buggy bumpers.
Stop. It had water, and you could push the thing, and bubbles would come out.
They have a buggy.
So what's cool about the buggy, the castle, the Pretty Parlor, and the show stable is that in later years they repopped them, different colors, different names.
Okay.
Different colors.
Yeah.
Rarer, different colors.
Yeah, so you've got Dream Castle and Dream Castle 2, which it's purple and green instead of pink and blue.
Okay.
You've got the Baby Buggy, which I've got my Princess Baby Buggy right there. The original buggy was white and pink.
It's super efficient for the toy company. Though,
It
to
is.
just repaint
Of
stuff.
course.
Dude, can you imagine being Hasbro?
Anytime they can reuse a mold for anything, it's going to save them
and it's
money or make them
brilliant.
money.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Were
on their part.
there store exclusive, Sears or Kmart or JCPenney exclusives?
So something else I brought that I forgot to mention. You just mentioned weird exclusives. In the very front there's a white pony with pink hair who looks a lot like these. That is a Toys for Tots exclusive. If you donated you could buy and donate one of those, you got one in return. So a kid somewhere in need would get a Toys for Tots pony, and you would also get one to take home.
Wow.
And Chuck E. Cheese, which is the little baby right there.
Okay, this one.
Yep. They did, there's two versions of that, just like Baby Ember.
That's baby,
Wow.
That's baby ball pit.
It's baby.
It's got the Chuck E. Cheese
It's
logo
baby
right
typhoid. So like that was a Chuck E. Cheese exclusive. You could only get that.
Was that a joke about how dirty the ball pit
Yes,
probably is?
it was,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I get it.
That's interesting that they got exclusive paint because Hasbro did Chuck E. Cheese G.I. Joes. They like blew out some stuff, but they're just bagged like Blizzard and Python Officer.
okay,
You know what I
alright,
mean?
yeah.
They didn't give them unique
Sure.
paint apps.
Yep.
Not that a G.I. Joe has the space to put a logo on it as
anything
easy as a
else?
pony.
A Chuck E. Cheese
about?
Viper
Yeah.
would be amazing.
That would be cool, but like where on a Joe would you put a logo? There's no room.
that's the tough
On the
part.
pony, the logo is the shtick.
Is the pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chuck E. Cheese got their own exclusive.
Wow.
It's just, there's a lot to talk about. And this was just like a little selection of some of what I think is the coolest of the cool.
It's one of those toy lines you can't do the entire toy line
No.
in an episode.
And any of the really big milestone lines that were able to
couldn't.
live for wave to wave to wave and then
Yeah.
get reborn, you just can't talk about that all at one shot.
Nope.
You can't cover every aspect
too
of
much. There's so
something
many-
like My Little Pony.
I mean, there's so many different. So every year they came out. It started out with 1. The next year was 2 different types in the year. The next year was 3, 5, 7, 8, 12. And by the end of it, you got drinking wet, pooping baby.
We're going to find out. Somebody in the comments, or we will find and go in the comments.
I want to know
how many ponies there were in G1, which is what they call it, just like Transformers.
Yep, just like Transformers.
Versus how many G.I. Joes.
We probably could have texted somebody while we were shooting
could
this.
have.
We know enough people.
Mark Palomo,
I could
tell
have
us how many
texted. I could
ponies
have
there
texted
are.
Mark and asked him in the amount of time we've been talking about this. There were so many.
Yeah.
And the combinations, as I said, were endless because so many different molds, so many different colors, hair color, butt color, everything. There's so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
Let us know if you would want to see more
Yes.
ponies.
If you want, or you want to see
Are
something
you
specific.
stressed out by
pony-wise.
My Little Pony? Please let us know in the
Are
comments.
you going to begin collecting My Little Pony now?
Are you going to run away and avoid it?
Do you have any ribbon laying around?
Oh God! You can really tell. I know it's silly, but like the edges are like there's a shape. There's
get
the
it.
way the sheen of the ribbon. It's
Yeah.
different than the stuff you get at like Joann's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. Thanks for hanging on the peg with us, and thanks for coming back on the show again, guys.
Of course.
Oh, we
Thanks.
love it.
We love being here.
Yes. Bye.
I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god. Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be.
They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke!